30 minutes later, a car pulls up and blocks our driveway. And I was like, what the heck? And then I'm sitting on the couch I'm sitting on now, and the window's literally like right in front of me. So they walk up to the window and they look in the window, and I make eye contact with them.
Welcome back to the Mister
And sister.
podcast. What were we gonna talk about? Oh yeah, it was my idea. Okay, well first of all, do what?
I said I have a story too, but
Okay, well, I was gonna ask, like, cause I don't know how much you want to talk about your new job. It's up to you. I think it'll kind of relate to what I'm gonna talk about, which is like we'll both relate to it. But go ahead, I'll let you.
Wait, no, I want to hear your update first. I've been waiting like a week.
Well, it's not like an update. It's just like I want us to talk about DoorDash and our experiences with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't a big deal.
Oh. I was like expecting, I got a new job, or
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, I just, no. No, it just like, I feel like that one's been kind of a long time coming. Just to talk about our experience with delivering in general, but like now that's basically what you do as well, so
Yeah. My job is fun. I like my job. I drive a lot. I'm like gone out of the office like 2 days a week. I work 5 days a week. It's like a standard Monday through Friday job. Well, I guess. Today I had a lady who, I'll also have a lot of stories from my job too. So let's first talk about something that has changed. You know how I'm scared of dogs. Dogs are one of my biggest fears.
yeah.
I was at a house last week, and 5 dogs come running up to me out of nowhere. And I was like, yeah, that was actually my reaction. And I was like, sir, can you please come get your dogs? I'm scared. Like, not like that. I was trying to be professional about it. And then more came out of nowhere. It was in the middle of nowhere. There was at least 10 to 12 dogs.
How many dogs has he got?
Well, it was like a little...
Probably the neighborhood dogs.
Well, yeah, it was 3 houses side by side, like in a U shape that are family. So I had to do inspections on all of them. And yeah, so all of them had at least 5 dogs per person. It was crazy. So, burp. Sorry. This is, now that we're doing the pods, which kind of sucks because I feel like I can't get ready for the pod like I used to. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't. What do you mean?
Well, okay. For y'all that don't know, I think you've mentioned it before, but you work nights.
Yes.
And I work days. So it's like 8:30 when we're filming this, and this is my time of getting unready, and this is your time of getting ready for the day. So it's like So it's like I'm getting.
Well, we had to find the happy medium.
Yeah, which this time is fine, but then I'm like, I've already showered, gotten in my pajamas, took my makeup off. Like, after the pod, I'm going to bed. And it's like, dang. Like, I guess I could wait to do all that after. But then, I don't know. But anyway. So, yeah, my job has been good. I've had to get more. Okay, I promise I'm going to stop yawning. I'm trying to drink a little caffeine. But, yeah, I mean, it's exposed me. So, my story. Yesterday, I got off a little bit early, and I came home, and I went to Walmart, and then I came home, and I started cleaning up the house, got new cleaning stuff, and I opened up our windows in our living room. Like, we have one pretty big window in our living room, so we don't have screens on them. I think the screens fell off in, like, the last storm, so I just had them wide open. I had the cats put up in their room, just to get some fresh air in the house while I'm cleaning. Like, whenever I'm mopping stuff, then like the cleaner's kind of strong. So yeah, well, our security camera that's in our living room starts flashing red like it does whenever somebody's watching the camera. And I was like, what the heck? So I texted Kevin, he was at work, and I was like, hey, did you just check the camera? He's like, no, I haven't checked it. And I was like, that's really weird. So I just unplugged the camera. I was like, nobody's going to watch me clean the house. Well,
Yeah.
about 30 minutes later, our car pulls up and blocks our driveway. And I was like, what the heck? And then I'm sitting on the couch I'm sitting on now, and the window's literally like right in front of me. So they walk up to the window and they look in the window, and I make eye contact with them. And then he comes to the front door, and I open it, and our screen door is like locked, but our front door is open, so he can't open the door even if you try it. And I was like, can I help you? He's like, yes, I'm with the newspaper. I was just wondering if you wanted to subscribe. And I was like, I mean, no.
That's a weird way to ask.
Yeah.
Just
So
like, look in.
it got weirder. So he was like, oh, okay. So you sure you don't want to subscribe? It comes with this free iPad. And then he pulls out an iPad. And I was like, no, sir. And I would have to talk to my I said I would have to talk to him about it anyway. He'll be home any second, even though he worked for a couple more hours. I just like you know what I mean. I was for safety reasons. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, where does your husband work? And I was like, right down the road. Why? And then he was like,
1 minute away.
yeah. He was like,
30 seconds away.
he was like, well, where do you work? And I was like, I'm sorry. Is this needed?
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is this needed to subscribe to a newspaper? And I kind of laughed. He's like, no, ma'am. I was just trying to conversate until he gets home. And then I was like, no, you're just gonna have to come back another day. I'm sorry. And he was like, okay, but what's your full name, your birthday, and your address so that I can take your information down and you can subscribe. Nope. I'm like, at this point, I'm shaking because I've had a bad feeling. And as soon as he asked that, then another car pulls up beside his car and parks. And I can't see who's in it because it has super tinted windows. And I was like literally freaking out. And at this point, I was like, I don't know what else to tell him. And I was like, it's okay. I'll just call my newspaper if I want to subscribe. And he was like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And I shut the door and like kind of waved. I was like, have a good day. Because I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know if it had, and I know it's not so bad where I live, but trafficking is really bad in general. Yeah. So I didn't know if it had something to do with our Wi-Fi got hacked and they saw the security camera. If somebody maybe followed me home from Walmart and I didn't notice, like, there's no telling what it could have been. But they didn't stop at any other houses at all. They just kept driving and then drove up and down the road for like a good 5 or 10 minutes after. So, really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, unless, yeah, that kind of reminds me of those two guys that came to my house around Christmas that, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I won't go into details, but like, we did talk, and I felt weird about it while I was at work, because I was thinking, like, is my house gonna be broken into when I get home? Because, like, they were asking about, like about my windows and stuff like that. But it's, at this point, like, they were really, like, guys actually trying to sell, like, a security system, and they do that here a lot. We'll get knocks on the door or whatever, and, but yeah, it just like one of those things where, like, they have a lot of information on you that you wouldn't expect them to have. So I felt weird about that one. It reminds me of that, yeah, in your situation, yeah, that was, I don't know why. I guess if they really were up to no good, I guess that's why they would do it. But it's like, The fact that they didn't stop anywhere else is sus.
Yeah. Um, but my neighbor came outside. He's a really elderly man. Like, he told us, I think he was like 87, 88.
Yeah.
And he came outside and he watched us until until he left. So he didn't say anything to me, but he was just kind of watching, like fiddling with his trash can or something.
Did you tell him that you felt weird about him?
No, he went inside whenever he saw the man walking away, but I think he could just tell.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you got good neighbors that watch. He said he was like an older guy.
Yeah, he's like 88, 87, something like that.
It's those old geezers that have like the shotguns under under their desk or whatever, and like or right behind their door. Honestly, yeah. I've been thinking about getting some kind of carry for the house. I do have weapons, but not anything that is long range. unless I can throw it, I can try. It's like I play video games and I've seen movies. I could chuck a knife into someone's face. But that's what I really need is throwing knives. I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to get a set of throwing knives and actually practice. We don't have any trees around here. We could probably practice in though. But yeah, what a scary way to kick off the pod.
Yeah. I did want your advice on something because I know that you've recently experienced this. I was gonna call you and ask you, but I was like, maybe Pod wants to know.
Maybe Pod wants to know.
Rating on LA. Would you go back? What did you like?
We were definitely 50-50 on it. We liked the experience of it, but we're really just glad that we didn't drive ourselves because it would have been chaotic. Even just riding in the Uber was scary enough sometimes. Or Ubers, we took multiple Ubers. Everywhere we went, we had to get an Uber, and that's fine. Because it was kind of nice, obviously, like you're being driven around. But like,
Did y'all go to, is it called Santa Monica?
Yeah, Santa Monica Pier, yeah.
Yeah, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that, I'm just going to say it, is that sketchy? Like, is it, no? Okay.
No.
Okay, so we're talking about, obviously not going to, pretty soon we're talking about going to LA. Like, we already looked at flights and all that kind of stuff. So, very soon, actually. So, yeah, I just didn't know, but we're kind of debating because everybody I've talked to has been like, if rental cars, you don't want to rent a car because you don't want to drive in LA, but Ubers are so expensive that it's like you're going to spend more on an Uber than you do on a rental car. And it's like, but do you really? Like, somebody told me to Uber from LA to Santa Monica is like $100.
I mean, it probably was close. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was $100.
But like $100 one way, like that's crazy.
Yeah, I do remember it taking a little bit. We got into a very deep conversation with our driver for that one. Some of the drivers we talked to, some we didn't. We just feel it out. I would try to spark a conversation, and I would kind of feel out. You know, obviously they've done it all day, and so it's like, funny enough, like. Since it is Uber and me and you have done Uber Eats, every time that the little thing would go off that they're getting a drive, it's like the same exact sound. And I was like, that's familiar.
Yeah.
But well, what do you want to know about it? I mean,
what would you recommend?
Instead of me just like rambling on about LA, like what yeah, what do you want to know?
Is there anything that you didn't do that you wish you would have done, or anything that you would recommend doing? Or not doing that you did?
I'd say the observatory is a really good experience. You see the Hollywood sign, and inside is really cool. It's like a museum. There's a lot. It's cool. Learn a lot, read some stuff. It's definitely unique. And I always wanted to see the Hollywood sign in person. Way smaller than I expected it to be. This movies and stuff make it seem like it's like the letters are really big, but they're really not. I mean, you can still see them from there, but it's just like, oh, that's what it is. But one of my favorite parts about the observatory, though, is just the LA skyline from there. Like, you literally see, it's exactly like out of GTA, where you just see the city, like the skyscrapers. Because LA, the actual city, is like the skyscrapers is just like those few right there in the middle or whatever. It's probably not actually the middle of LA, but but it is a skyline, and it was a really nice day that day, and um, honestly, one of the best experiences I had with LA, and it sounds really stupid, but like at one point we DoorDash Shake Shack, and I had never had Shake Shack before, and I didn't know that their shakes were gonna be like top tier like that. They're excellent. I don't know if I've ever had a better shake in my life.
Yeah. But we're either going to, I actually have to look at what the place is called, because I don't know. Actually, that's not all not. Anyway, so we're either going to, like LA Santa Monica, or we're going to Six Flags. So I don't know if you've ever been there before.
No, not Six Flags. I didn't even know if it was in that general area. I mean,
there's one in, it's near Dallas. So,
I mean, Santa Monica is a cool experience. We didn't go down on the beach. Like, it would have been cool, but we just didn't. But, I mean, Santa Monica, all that really is the long dock with the rides. Like, that's all it is, except for, they got like a little ice cream shop there. We ended up getting ice cream. And the only sus thing about it is just like maybe some random weirdos that are just walking and stumbling, like homeless dudes or whatever. Like, but we didn't see as many homeless people as you would think.
yeah.
But everybody, I mean, it's just tourists. It's people walking through, with cameras and just like rather visitors or California people. Like that's all it is. I never felt like weird or unsafe. I feel like you're really out in the open. That sounds bad, but that's a good thing. Like, I mean, everybody is right there. And everybody's just trying to, because we went Santa Monica around sunset, so everybody's trying to get a picture of the sunset.
Yeah.
It really was, I mean, it was like a 4-day experience for us. We didn't really do a lot. But Hotel
That's
Normandy
how
is pretty crazy because it's like a super ancient hotel basically. People think it's haunted, but I didn't. I didn't experience any of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, we'll be. I'm not really sure. We were gonna fly to LA, and it's a lot at first, and a short amount of time, like short amount of trip, and like it would be our first time on a plane, a first time going to this airport or this town with this airport. Like, yeah, I don't know, and then like
I don't know if you'll like the LAX experience. I mean, like because you get out of LAX and there's like unless you take the transit, I would say Uber, but it's not. So you're at the airport outside, and there's like buses that show up, and so you got to get on one of those, and they take you just a little ways further, and then you're on the whatever you call it. It's just a little zone. Everybody's waiting on Ubers. We had spots like that in Vegas. We stopped at too.
Yeah, we already agreed that we are not going to Vegas.
I mean, honestly, to me, like one over the other, it would be Vegas for me. I mean, was a better experience, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I'm also not 21, so.
Well, yeah, that too, but And LA doesn't smell good, and the air doesn't feel, it's not clean. Totally different environment, but I knew I just had to, I would just like pick how long you want to go through it. You know, like if you get there and you feel like you're suffering, just, you know, maybe it's wise to plan, like not necessarily a freakish amount. I wouldn't spend 2 weeks there. Maybe at most like a week, but we only spent
Yeah,
like
it's
we only
it'll
spent
be
like
about
four
the time
days.
that y'all spent there.
Dave's Hot Chicken, really good, right down the street from the hotel. I've heard a lot about that. That's not just an LA thing. I've heard a lot about that, and I finally got to try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'll let you know what we decide. One of the places we were talking about going, either going or flying out of, is closer to you than it is to me. So I may be staying at your place.
What would that be?
When would that be?
No, what would that, or I mean,
Well, we were talking. So there's an airport. I don't know if I'm allowed to say towns.
is it in the Little Rock area?
No, it's
Oh.
Hot Springs area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there's an airport there, and then there's also an airport in Memphis. So we've never been to Memphis, and we were gonna fly from Memphis to LA. Or there were so many possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's what we did. We drove to Memphis.
Yeah.
Drove to Memphis first.
So Memphis is it's not that far from us. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact time, but it was either, I don't know if you've been to Miami before. But
well,
it was,
actually, yeah, when I was like a kid, but
yeah.
I don't really count it.
It was Miami, LA, or Dallas. Dallas, Arlington, something like that.
Let me ask you this: what's making you choose LA out of all those?
Well, I mean, ignore the claw flip on my hand. It's not really a choice. I wasn't choosing that over them. We're probably gonna end up going to Texas just because we're driving and everybody's weird about rental cars. Most of them you have to be 21, and the ones that you have to be are under 21 are outrageously expensive because the insurance is more expensive. So it's not really choosing. I'm just trying to learn more about each place before we decide.
Yeah. I mean, go and have your experience. I mean, and I, you know, and I think after just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think even like LA people know that LA has its negatives. Like I've listened to podcasts, like really popular people.
Yeah.
Like I've heard, I've listened to Theo Vaughn talk about LA, and how, you know, it's like not, when it comes to like the comedy world for him and other people, like it would be like New York is like their favorite. I could see that. I could see what he means. But LA people are just kind of, I don't know how to even explain it into words. I'm just, if I would say it, it would sound stupid. But like just very, very busy lifestyle, very, I wouldn't even say Hollywood, because it's not like in the movies where everybody's walking around like they live in a mansion. I mean, I know they're there. Like there's people that, like on the way to up to the observatory, because you're going like up the hill, there's like so many nice houses that you see right out of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. like just, I don't know. So there's those people, but like it's just a busier world with like people that are just always, I don't know, just that overall feeling of like no one stops to just breathe. Like, I don't know, it is, the traffic's crazy.
Downtown Little Rock gives me anxiety, so I don't know how I'm gonna do in LA. Like, Like I'm freaking out.
Yeah, but
Not
like
freaking.
downtown Little Rock is like very scrunched together
Yeah,
tightly with a lot of people and I mean that's there too, but like but LA is a massive city. It's so much more spread out than that.
yeah.
Um
Kevin's question was, is Santa Monica, does it look the same in person as it does in GTA?
Rockstar did a very good job at recreating it. Also for the observatory, like literally walking up to the observatory and you see like just the building and the hill and everything that looks just like GTA. But I was wondering if like where that cutscene takes place right there. I was wondering if you can be right there, but that's not like a spot you can actually stand. Um,
Kevin
but
used to be a huge GTA player, and for him to see Santa Monica in real life is like mind blowing to him.
yeah. I mean, it would kind of it did that to me too, where I was just thinking about GTA, but other than that, I mean, but I want to go to New York. Like, I know
Let's
Ryan
go.
has been a few times. You think Little Rock's crazy? New York City, I could see you struggling with that. I don't know. I'm getting more used to traveling, and I'm definitely getting way more used to flying, um, and stuff like that. It's like
See,
I know
yeah,
what to expect every time, so it's like I'm one of these people that I don't like rides. Like I don't like that. I never get on rides. I don't like the dropping feeling. I don't like any of that. My anxiety is too bad for it. And I've seen videos of things happening on rides and accidents, and I'm just like, I'd rather not die today. Um,
well,
but with a
that.
plane, you know, it's fine. These pilots know what they're doing. Some are more rough than others. The guy that like landed us in Las Vegas, I feel like that landing was a little bit more rough. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to go to New York.
Let's go.
There's there's so many there's just so many places like on the bucket list that's like just to experience. I want to go to. I've supposedly been to the Grand Canyon when I was a baby, but I don't remember that, of course, so I'm not really counting it. I want to go there. And places that are more like out in the middle of nowhere type of thing instead of more of the big city life. Like kind of
Yeah,
more of like camping type of experiences.
that was another possibility to go to Colorado. Don't ask me
I
what's in
think
Colorado.
that's. Oh, actually, yeah. Now that you've reminded me that I don't know if it'll be our next trip. Me and Ashley have not talked about what our next trip would be. New York City is definitely up there. It's on the plate. We both want to go, but I don't know if it'll be the next one. But we on the flight to LA, we touched down in Denver and connecting flight from Denver to California. So when we stopped there and we saw, and I got reminded how beautiful California, how beautiful Colorado is. And in 2005, my parents took me to Colorado Springs. Any of you Colorado people out there, shout out to you. I feel like every time I meet a Colorado person, they're just like the coolest people on the planet. And it's funny how each airport you can tell that like that's where this is. Like I don't know how to explain it, but getting to Denver, Colorado, everyone's wearing the ski jackets and like the really massive sunglasses that are all one visor thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I've been to Pikes Peak in 2005,
How
and
old were you?
oh god, I don't know.
You were 10. No, 12.
Yeah, like pretty much like I was about to say, rather early teenage or like right before that.
That was 9.
Hello, voice can't work today. Um, but I've been there, and I want to go back as an adult. I want to go back and see what's changed. But also, I feel like my body's definitely gonna take it differently because I'm a grown man now. So I feel like the getting up to top of Pikes Peak and not being able to breathe, because you're literally when we went, I remember the experience of like being above the clouds. I don't know why I remember it that way, but like I feel like I made that up in my head, but cuz I can look at Pikes Peak like and see that it's not inside the clouds. It was something about being there. It's like those like in movies where you see people. Have you seen any movie ever where someone's climbing Everest? Like,
No.
or even just in a okay. Well, have you seen like I don't know. Like, have you seen visually anywhere what that would look like? Where it's like people, Everest is like one of the tallest. If I can't remember if they still claim it as the tallest mountain in the world or whatever, but like
I have
you
seen.
get near the top and you are literally above the skyline. You're like above the clouds.
Yeah.
That's what I remember going to Pikes Peak, even though I know it's not as tall. But like, literally down below was like I pretty sure we went in the summer. I don't remember because all I know is when you're climbing Pikes Peak, it's snow. I have pictures. I have a book of like the mom had that is like me falling in like a little snow like ditch or whatever up to my waist in snow. But I specifically remember it not being snowy in Colorado Springs. So rather it was spring, or I will go as far to say I think down in Colorado, like down on the bottom of the like where we're staying in the hotel and everything. I'm pretty sure it was summer. So it was around that spring or summer. But you climb Pikes Peak and it is like the dead of winter. It could even snow, but I mean there was snow up there. So, but anyway, like touching down in Denver reminded me like that snow. Like just look up like Denver, Colorado mountain skyline, and you'll see like just
Yeah.
there's just this ridge of mountains, and they all have snow on top of them, and it's just beautiful. And I feel like that would be like a step back. So our next trip might be like not a big city and do something more like that. That's actually like an experience of like more of a not necessarily a country experience, but just like a more whatever you want to call it, wilderness type of adventure or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
Like
mean,
I
you can get on the Airbnb app and look at places in Colorado, and they're beautiful. They have like
yeah,
patios with hot tubs overlooking the mountain with like literally
yeah,
like snow. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. So we can either do like the big city always doing something, or we can do like more of a
yeah.
relaxing trip. Like we're going on a trip for my birthday, so it'll be like a birthday like
Mm-hmm.
relaxing time instead of constantly doing something, which is not usually what I do, but I feel like it's much needed to like like maybe somewhere where we don't have service,
I
so we're
mean,
not on our phone.
there's a difference where it's like you can find that happy medium where it's like you can have a trip that's more of a relaxing, on a mountain somewhere type of woodsy thing. But also still stay busy and do stuff. But those
Yeah.
things you're doing is kind of that feeling of like more relaxing.
But
And
see, if we
I'm
see
sure
people
there's
on,
some crazy good places to eat there. So it's
if we see people, how do we get around? If there's like if there's an inch of ice on the ground here, then everybody freaks out. How are we gonna drive in Colorado?
they're used to it. I mean, I don't know. There's probably I just imagine like monster trucks as Ubers or something. It's
Yeah.
just like yeah, we'll get you there. I don't know. I don't think you have to stay somewhere where it's actually snowing there because like I said when we went like it was snowing on the mountain or not snowing but there was snow on the mountain but uh but on the ground level it was not winter.
Yeah.
I just want to try to find out like what month of the year was that, but I do know it was '05.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy. I was literally a year old.
it's just
Um,
it's crazy.
yeah, but the whole LA Miami thing, We're probably gonna wait because Kevin turns 21 in August, so we'll probably
You're
wait till
right.
after he's 21 just to make it easier on us. It's easier with flights, it's easier with rental cars, it's easier with everything if one of us is 21. I don't know what the big deal about that is, like hotels and stuff. Some of them won't let you book unless you're 21. So we're gonna be finding our way around a lot of stuff if we go now versus when he's 21.
We also want to, I mean, I'm not trying to go back to put Vegas in the conversation, but we definitely want to go back to Vegas. So like, I don't know if all four of us could ever line something up when y'all are 21, that'd be kind of dope.
It'll have to
Just
be
like,
next year, but yeah.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying like it would probably be like a little while anyway because I get the sense that Ashley's gonna want to do something new. So I'd rather be. I feel like last time we talked about it, it's rather Colorado or something like New York. So, guys, let us know in the comments. Like, even if you might be watching this like 3 years from now, and we already did these things, but comment anyway on what do you want? What would you want to? What would you want to see us do that we can come back to you guys and talk about like these Colorado like climbing Pikes Peak and stuff like that. I want to go back to Pikes Peak. Like that was a cool
See,
experience.
that's what I was gonna say.
That was a
If
really cool
I
experience.
if I see people skiing, then I'm gonna want to ski, knowing I've never skied a day in my life, and neither has he, and we can never figure it out that quickly.
Yeah,
But
it's really
like,
dangerous too. But I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
It would be.
I just see the people riding up in those things on the mountain, like with their feet dangling, and I'm like, I don't even want to ski. I just want to do that.
Yeah, that does look
Um,
kind of fun. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. Colorado does sound pretty fun, so that may be on the to-do list actually instead of Six Flags. I'm not sure. Like I don't know. He's more on the relaxation side. I'm more of the I want to do something side. And I know you said that there's a happy medium, but like Dallas, for example, then I don't feel like there's gonna be any relaxation there because we've never been to Dallas. So we're gonna be like, okay, we want to see and do everything. Um, so I'm not sure. And Dallas is not that far of a drive, so it's not like we can't go back. But yeah, have y'all been to Dallas?
Uh, Ashley has, but I'm not. I haven't. No.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not really sure what we're gonna do, but I will probably update the pod pretty soon about what we did.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. What else? I mean, I guess we can. I was wondering if we could save the DoorDash conversation, but we do have some time, so might as well. Speaking of traveling and driving around, I don't know, like I don't even really necessarily have an experience I want to talk about, but other than maybe like I don't know, I almost thought it'd be kind of interesting to get your point of view of the day we went to a particular big city and DoorDash together. Because like at the time, let me just give you guys a little backstory. So like I'll keep it short, but like left my job, needed something else, and Lacey was like, "Hey, I already DoorDash. If you want to be shown the ropes ahead of DoorDash, I could teach you." And so, like, you were teaching me in the town we lived in, because at some point in time we lived in the same city at the same time, which is weird to look back on actually, because it's been a little while. But anyway, you were teaching me that. I can't remember what came first. I'm pretty sure it was that. You were kind of showing me, because those were
Yeah.
those days that I would like DoorDash with you, and then I'd drop you back off at your apartment. But then at some point we planned, you were like, "Hey, me and Kevin, I'll just say it because no one knows where we live. Me and Kevin DoorDash Little Rock all the time, and
With him driving.
we make a lot of money doing it. Because you were just kind of telling me like it's busier. The other town we live in is like good, but it could be better. Like during like dinner hours was very specific time. So we planned to go do that together. And that was shortly after the whole job thing and everything for me. Um, I don't know. Do you have anything interesting, like maybe, maybe a perspective of like something you might not have told me or something that freaked you out? Like, I know that, like, I definitely freaked us both out trying to get on that one exit that we missed.
Okay,
It was
that's what
like
I
a
was just
left,
about to
that was
talk
like
about.
that left turn or whatever.
I thought you hated me in that moment. Um,
No.
yeah, I know you were just stressed and your anxiety was to the roof, and so was mine.
Well,
And
yeah,
now,
I've been driving all day too, but like, but I mean,
and
but at
now,
that point, I wasn't at a point where I'm like, God, I'm dying here. Like we were having a good time. Like, let me just say that, because like it was, at least I was. I can't say for you, but like,
no, I
but
hated
like,
it.
but
Joke.
like the money coming in and all that, and like in that experience. But by that point, it was nighttime. But like, go ahead, and what were you gonna say about that?
I was gonna say that freaks me out. Now, you know those loop-de-loop things? I drive them like they're nothing now. Like I literally have to do it all the
Yeah,
time. I don't go to Little Rock very
it's
often.
just like Ashley, where she's just so used to Little Rock now.
Mhm. My doctors are in Little Rock now. I'm just yeah. It's nothing to me anymore. Like, um,
Well, I remember at the start of the trip, because we got there, we took the back roads, which looking back,
that was funny.
looking back, it was kind of like I should have just braved the interstate, because it did feel like it took a long time, and I didn't care for the hills on that. Like
It
it
was
wasn't.
pretty scenery though.
Yeah, that was nice that was nice. I'm trying to think of anything. But yeah, I mean, guys, like Lacey is the reason that I learned how to DoorDash. Whereas, like, if I was to have tried to practice it by myself, I probably wouldn't have been brave enough. I mean, I probably would have eventually warmed up to it, but I was glad that I had somebody in my family that already did it. So everything, it was literally a domino effect. Everything worked out for a reason. My job didn't work out, so then I was able to fall onto something, because it was definitely a perfect in between thing. And even before I got the job that I do now, like I DoorDashed a little bit and where I live now. And
Yeah,
this area was like ended up being my favorite. So if I ever had to go back to doing that again, it would be perfect.
yeah.
And I've thought about it, like if I was ever to do gig work again as my full time thing, um, I would just rely on DoorDash and Uber Eats, because I don't know, it's just nice. You're your own boss. And that can be dangerous in its own way, because you could just quit whenever. Or you could just stop for the day, literally whenever you want.
That's why I love my new job because I'm my own boss, but I also have a boss. So
Yeah.
I make my own schedule, my own time when I want to go out. Pretty much like what happens is like I'll go into a little bit more detail about my job because nobody knows the town that I live in. Um, like people who are on Section 8, they have to have inspections done every other year. So biannually. So it's like inspections. I have to make sure the lights work and the sinks work. There's no leaks. Like just safety and health, like health and safety
Hmm.
inspections. And I just schedule them and then send out a letter saying, "Hey, I'm coming to your house this date and time," and then let their landlord know. And then whenever I get back to the office, then I write down the things that were wrong and right, and then send out another letter to the landlord and to the tenant, and that's kind of my job. But I get to make my own, and I get to make my own schedule of when I go
Hmm.
out, where I go to. Like I obviously have a list of places I have to go, but I get to choose. Like if I'm going to be in this town, then I can do them all on this day, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I get to be my own boss, but I also get to. I also have a boss, and I have a deadline. So it's not like DoorDash where it's like, I don't really feel like going out tonight. I'm just gonna cancel it. No, I have a 8 to 5 4:30, but
Yeah.
8 to 5 job, and I have to be there. I'm getting paid to be there, so it's like, you know,
Yeah, with DoorDash, I definitely started setting goals for myself every day, like that I want. I would set realistic goals.
yeah,
I wasn't like, yeah, I gotta make $100 every day. I would be like, like I'd be happy with 50 a day, but if I go out every day, that's actually pretty good. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a very unique experience. There's, I don't know, I'm kind of me and Lacey are both tired today, so like I feel like maybe another time I'll be able to think of like really good DoorDash stories because they get it gets crazy. And so I don't know because we relate to the people that there's this whole culture going around now that DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these gig services are like more of a thing now. There's this kind of thing going around that's like, why don't people tip enough, you know? And there's videos that are made of people getting mad about it at people's Ring doorbells things, and like some of them I can tell they're fake. I can tell when they're acting. They had a friend do that and act like they're mad. Like there was this one that was like specifically like she was such a Karen to him that like I was like, there's no way this isn't acting. Like the way she was speaking was like, you are just a stupid man and all like just like I don't know. I feel like they were all friends and they acted it out. But it's it's a good conversation to have about just
Yeah.
like people think they're so entitled to their meal. Like I don't know, but I feel like you also run into the problem of like people that take the order when there's no tip. Like I just don't remember any DoorDash experience where like I looked at like $0. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can like cancel the tip or something afterwards. I can't remember, but it's been a little while since I've done DoorDash, but done did. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I've never taken one that's like, oh yeah, this is $0, but do you want to do it? Like, it pops up on the screen. And with the job I have now, I feel bad for DoorDashers because people come through and things get canceled or we can't make the food and stuff like that, and because we're out of something, and I just feel bad for the dasher that came all the way there just to hear that and they just wasted gas. But I told my coworkers like, oh, it's gonna land, that order's gonna land on somebody no matter what. So we're just gonna keep seeing that order pop up. I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oops. Almost unplugged my headset.
That's not good.
What were you saying?
I said go to sleep.
Just
I feel like every podcast that I'm like dead.
dead.
But yep, job is going good.
That's good.
And I gotta go back tomorrow.
How so your day shift now, so like just how early are you getting up for this? Like when do you gotta be there?
I have to be there at 8, but I get up at like 6:37.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, I was surprised because I kind of like low key forgot you're working now. I mean, I didn't, but I did. But I kind of forgot that you did announce it. But we haven't really talked about it
Yeah.
at all. So it's like you've been. I mean, I understand because you start a new job, and it's like I get it. People get focused on that, and I do the same thing. Starting anything new, it's like all of a sudden I get quiet on everybody else because I'm just focused on that.
Yeah.
Because there's like stuff to learn, and you're just in it. You're in that like you're new to something experience.
Well, I went from not working at all to working 40 hours a week. So it's like, and it's a set schedule, and it's, I mean, 6:30 to 7 is not early. I can't complain. Like, it's early, yeah, but Kevin, on the other hand, wakes up at 3 o'clock, and he doesn't get home until 3:30. So it's like...
Yeah, but he gets off sooner, don't he? Or do you get off around that time?
No, he gets off at 3:30, and I get off at 4:30, but he also goes in at 5, and I go in at 8.
Yeah.
So it's like, and recently he's been working 5 to 5 and getting home at 5:30. So he leaves the house at 3 and gets home at, or he leaves the house at 4, gets home at like
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I was surprised that you snapped me back that early, but I forgot that your job was early now. But I was like, dang, okay, like, cause like before that, you were like maybe snapping me at like 10 a.m. or something instead.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I've been working for like 2 weeks now.
that's good. I'm glad it's going good, and I hope you can thrive in something that you enjoy, because I know you haven't had the best luck with jobs where
Yeah, I
you
haven't.
don't every time you get something, it's just like, yeah, you don't want to stay. So
Yeah,
hopefully it's something that
no, I love this job. And
let me ask you this just to get this elephant in the room out of the way, like, are you still having the problem with getting sick with this one?
um,
Like, maybe
okay,
less, because like before, I won't say where, but she ended up working with kids, and so that was making her sick, and that was one reason. That's one, at least in my opinion, one reason you had to leave. You might have a different opinion
yeah,
on
it
that,
was a
but
big reason. My coworker brings their kid from daycare to. She picks him up at 3. We get off at 4:30, so it's like an hour and a half
mhm.
ish. And he has the flu. And yesterday I was not feeling good, and my boss was like, "Just go home and get some rest." So I left a little bit early yesterday, and then that's when everything happened, and I slept. Now I feel a lot better today.
That's good.
That's the only thing I really had. But like this morning, and this is how my job is. Like I work with like 5 or 6 ladies. Like it's just all women in the office, and I have my own little office like decorated and stuff now, and um, I walked in and my boss like had stuff sitting on my desk laid out. She bought me like a new binder, planner, an iPad case, a backpack, like all this stuff for the job. And she's like, "Hey, I just left that on your desk. I knew you weren't feeling good." Like that's amazing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So everybody there is so nice and funny, and it's very like it's a very me job. I get to work on the computer, which I love doing, like
Hmm.
computer work. I work with like a lot of what I work with is Excel, but um, yeah, I mean, I get to be out and kind of be my own boss, but also be grounded and work on the computer, and then have paperwork to do, and it's a very office setting, but also being your own boss, and it's a perfect mixture for what I have wanted to do. So yeah, that's just the only. This sounds bad, but the only thing that I'm struggling with is like waking up early. In the past couple mornings, I've woke up and I'm like freaking out because I didn't wake up to my alarms, but that's because they haven't gone off yet. And it's like I'll set my alarm for like 6:45, and then 6:30 I wake up and I'm like scatterbrained,
Yeah, I've done that before.
and
Um,
I'm sure that you've noticed, but if I wake up but before at least 9 a.m., then if you text me, then I'll read it and I know what you said, but I'm not texting back. Like it's
yeah, I get it. I mean,
yeah. I've never felt like that
I've
before. Every
definitely
morning.
slept read text plenty of times, and I don't like it. I don't know why my brain feels the urgent need to check my text in the middle of my sleep. Like, it's just
Um,
a weird
I
little
check them first
tick.
thing in the morning, and
I mean, I do too, but like, I don't like how I have to feel like sometimes I gotta open stuff like in the middle of sleep.
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like I have to open stuff as soon as I wake up, and that's fine now. But I just don't respond. Like you could text me, "I'm pregnant," and I still would probably not respond. Like I'm not.
I'm pregnant, not Ashley. I'm no.
Yeah, that's what I would
Um,
expect.
it's like, yeah, that was the one. No, you know, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I don't, I get it. Like, I need time when I wake up. Um,
Yeah.
takes 30 minutes. This is a fact. It takes 30 minutes for caffeine to kick it fully into your system where you actually feel like it's registering that you're waking up. So that's the time I need. That's the time I
Uh,
need, because as soon as I wake up, I drink water like immediately. I don't like doing that. Like it's not an enjoyable experience, but I pour ice water just because I have noticed that it kind of like helps wake your brain up faster, especially if you really drink it. Like if it's really ice cold and you feel that little bit of brain freeze coming on, it sucks, but like that's a good way to wake you up. It sounds like I'm punishing myself, but it's not. But it's
I'll
not
have to
like
try
that.
that.
Just you'll have to try that. How long has it been since you drank any water, bro?
I don't know.
Don't act like you don't that you can't even remember the last time you had some water. No,
Hold
but
on, I'm
it
gonna
helps.
genuinely try to remember. Hold on. Oh wait, I'm just kidding. I had like 2 sips of water,
2 sips.
like a couple of hours ago because I went to a restaurant and we went out. We went out and ate Chinese tonight, and I always get water at
Ooh, that
Chinese
sounds good.
places.
That sounds really good. You know, I'm not trying to interrupt, but you know what I've noticed? I just thought of this. I literally just realized this before going to bed last night, this morning, whatever. I just thought of this. I was watching YouTube, and it's one of those things where like you just have a random thought about life while you're watching something. So, I have never been on a more overnight schedule. Like when it comes down to work, so I've shaped my sleep to it, where I get up at PM, which I guess I always did because like for my last job I'd get up at 12 p.m. But still, that was middle of the day. So that was like an evening shift. I worked in the afternoon until 10 p.m. And now I start my shift at 10 p.m. But I've noticed something. It has been a while, and I didn't even notice it until last night. It's like it hit me. I didn't. It has been a while since me and Ashley. Trying to remember the last time we did, but like sat down at a restaurant at a decent time and had a nice meal. Like the only thing we've been doing now is like getting breakfast before we go to bed, which we always did that, but now we've started getting like Denny's, which is like nice, whatever you want. Like it's a just American diner. Like it might as well be Waffle House at that point. But like yeah, I thought of that last night, how that is the only thing. Like, I love this schedule. Like, I love being overnight, and I've always been a night owl. Like, and this is, like, now, instead of me getting up before, like, having an evening shift and then getting up before Ashley has to go to work, now, like, when she gets up for work, I still have about 4 hours to sleep. So, like, we were talking about that the other day. She's like, yeah, you're more overnight than me now. I was like, yeah, babe, but you work 12-hour shifts. Like, it's different. It's totally different. But she gets up at 4:45 p.m. I get up around 8. So, it's like...
Yeah, that's what I have to realize with Kevin is, like, he gets home... I get home at, like, 4:45. He gets home at 5:30, 5:45. And I'm like...
Yeah.
Dude, I just got off work. He's like, not like that, but it feels like it's been a long day.
I just got off.
Yeah,
Leave me alone. Like,
no,
you want a little bit of time. You want a little bit of time of, like, you know, just the time, like, I think we all need that adjustment period when we get off
but
work.
not like that. It's like, dude, it's been such a long day. I just got off work and it's 5:30 and you just got home. He's like, well,
and
yeah,
that's got to be a nice feeling for y'all too, because it feels like you have the rest of the night to do whatever.
It is.
So y'all can go out to eat if you want.
Yes, but he doesn't really because he gets up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, so to him, he's about to die.
Yeah, no, because that's what I was saying. Whenever I'm like, dude, I just got off work, and I'm like, it's been a long day. He's like, you woke up at what time? Like, he wakes up
He's
4
so
hours
judgy.
before. He wakes up 4 hours before me.
Like literally, if he isn't in bed by 8 p.m. that, like, I'm not saying that's what he does because I know he doesn't do that half the time, but even like looking at it realistically, like gets up at 3 a.m. so 8 p.m. is even pushing it, like for like trying to go to sleep.
See, that's the thing is
about to hit the like 6-hour mark of sleep.
We both go to bed at 8. Are like in bed by 8, and then he goes to bed about 8:30. I fall asleep about 9:30 because I need at least 30 minutes to lay there and an hour on my phone. So I like generously give myself that time.
Well, like at the top of the pod, guys, we talked a little bit about like the adjustment, like with your new job having to record at a little bit earlier time. Well, just so you guys know, she used to be like, oh yeah, 10 p.m.'s good because that works out for both of us. I have time or whatever, and you have time to get up or whatever. Now it's even 8:30 is kind of pushing it for you, like,
Yes,
and
I'm tired.
because I was trying to, I was like, because I forgot about your job, so when we were trying to plan what day, and I was kind of, I felt bad because I kind of was back and forth on it, and then I was like,
I didn't care either way.
I know, but like, what I should have did from the beginning is just say, okay, Wednesday, no matter what, because I was off, and I have like a long weekend here, so I was like,
Oh,
what? I
you're
don't,
off?
yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay.
off. Yeah, I just yeah, so I
Lucky.
mean, so even if you would have wanted to do a late one, it would have been, yeah, absolutely. But like I'm trying to stay in the headspace of like, no, just stick to Wednesdays, and if Wednesdays just don't work out, then push it back a week. That way we have like a firm consistency plan.
See,
I've also been drawing out episodes a little bit where I wait a few days to put them up, so like that way it's like, there's still that consistency. Like they're not dropping necessarily once a week, but at most I maybe like they're 9 days apart or something like that, So, but yeah, so things are changing, but it's completely fine. We found the pocket of time that's like, okay, like we found the pocket of time that's like fair for both of us, where it's like we're both gonna be tired. That's
yeah,
basically like we're recording at a time that's like, okay, like I got up a little bit earlier and you're pushing your sleep, so there's meeting in the middle there, and that's why I
let
also
me
pitched.
just.
That's why I pitched to her, like on your days off, if you want to do like a later in the morning thing, I'm always still awake. So it's
That's what I
like
was about to say. Whenever you said that mornings always work for me, I genuinely thought you meant
like
for me to
7 a.m.
wake up earlier so that I could film a. I was like,
I
he
know,
really.
yeah. I was thinking of it as like even before you had this new job, I knew that you like got up in the morning at some point, like 9 or 10
Yeah.
a.m. or whatever. So I was just thinking like, well, I usually am not even in bed yet. Either way, I would be tired, and the only other thing I wouldn't like is how much light would be in this freaking room. That's the only thing. But
Yeah.
I do want to get like a. This is this is the biggest window in the house, and I
Hmm.
do want to get a blackout curtain for it. And I haven't yet, but
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but I thought you were telling me to wake up at 5 to film a podcast. I was like,
no, heck
he,
no, bro. I'm not
like,
that crazy.
yeah. Um,
She's
Which
like
it's crazy because I'm like, you want me to wake up earlier, but then on the days that you work, then don't you have to wake up a little bit earlier to film?
yeah. I just no.
You have fun with that. I ain't doing it.
No, yeah. But if it ever lines up where
Yeah.
like we don't feel like waking up, I mean we're never gonna feel like that, but like
Me every
with
morning.
me it's like convenience. That's what I live
Yeah.
life about, is just like convenience of like, that's why half the time I'll do this no matter how tired I am, if I know, okay, if I know that me and Ashley need, I'm feeling it out, I'm like, okay, is it getting close to where we need to get some groceries soon or whatever, get off work at 5 a.m. and I will be there by 6 to like freaking, because for me it's about getting something out of the way. Like
Yeah.
where it's like where I don't have to worry about getting up for a thing. So it's always about that, where it's like convenience.
What kind
And
of crackhead goes to Walmart at 6 a.m.?
do what?
I said, what kind of crackhead goes to Walmart at 6 a.m.? That's the first thing.
Somebody that's still up for like 5 or 6 more hours after that. So it's
Yeah, that just
but
crossed
it's
my brain.
nice. You wouldn't believe it. It's nice because there's barely anybody in there, and
There's other
it's like
people.
right there's other people. The only thing I don't like, we have a problem around this town with if we go to Walmart in the morning before going to bed, instead of getting up to go to Walmart, then it's around 6 a.m. or whatever, but like if we do it closer to like 8 or 9 a.m., we're in trouble, because there is, and this is like, it lands on a weekday usually, there is school traffic. There is a school down the road, where there's an intersection and people are pulling in to take their kid to school, and like, so it's like you're just stopped for like a while until the light turns green, red, green, red, just keeps, like, it keeps stopping. I keep almost unplugging my headset, but anyway, we can wrap it up there. Because I know you're tired, and I apologize for keeping you awake, but you know, I just want us to run the pod, okay? I want us to be consistent, and we have been. I think we've done a fantastic job at being consistent lately. Like, it's been consistency for like the last 4. We're already on episode 11. Insane.
Wow.
So we might have to do something for episode 20. I don't know what it would be, but we'll figure it out.
We can go to Colorado.
I meant like something, I don't know, something like something.
Pod in Colorado, dude.
Oh my god, the stress I would feel on equipment.
Oh,
like how
yeah.
how are we gonna, like, are we gonna just pod with lav mics, like the little, which is fine, but like, and I truly do want to bring more content to you guys. I want to start doing shorts, just random
If we
thoughts.
go to Colorado, then I'll make a short so you can post it.
That's it. Like, the whole Colorado trip is all in a 1-minute clip.
Yeah. Duh.
No, but duh. This is Pikes Peak. Okay, it's over. Like, just.
Yeah, like literally 1-second clips from everywhere we went.
But anyway, we love y'all. Keep commenting. Keep emailing. We have our email. I don't know why I said that.
Keep emailing.
keep
We're getting emails.
We're not, but I want more. That's my point. It's like, I want more emails, guys. Just, you know, we're excited about the pod, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Oh, and I keep forgetting this because I've been meaning to say this at the top of the hour. Please follow us on Spotify. Go check us out. That is the only place right now that we are audio, but like, we're here on YouTube and we are on Spotify. So if you just want the audio version and you want to be able to close out your phone and you don't have YouTube Premium, go listen on Spotify. It's the same exact episode. Exact same, just audio only. So check it out. We love y'all, and bye.